Alright everybody, welcome back. Flagel 1/7 scale F-15 build. Wanted to show you guys what I've been doing these last few days. RCU's kind of in chaos right now, so it's kind of makes posting pictures impossible. The videos, I've got a few. Like I said, it just makes it hard to get a groove going that way. The last thing I've done since the last video was fuel tanks. I filled these up with water. I weighed them empty, filled them up with water just to see how much they would hold, so I can kind of get an idea based on the fuel. The small front tanks hold 43.5 ounces of water. So water's heavier than fuel. Just keep that in mind. Like a gallon of fuel is almost 8.5 pounds per gallon, and JP8 Jet A is 6.7 roughly per gallon. So it's a little bit less than water. But anyways, small tanks hold 43.5 ounces of water, and main tanks, which are the big ones, hold 88.5 ounces. So total, that's roughly 134 ounces of water. Or fuel, 134 ounces of fuel. So times that by 2, you're looking at roughly 13.5 pounds of fuel, which is a little over 2 gallons. So not too bad. Hope to get good run time with that. We'll see. Plus, you got a little bit of fuel for the UATs. You know, I got these from King Tech, but I think I'm going to try making some too. I got to see how. I like a little bit bigger fittings, but I may use those on the 14. But we'll see. But anyways, back to the fuel tanks. The mod I did is simple. I did it on all 4 tanks. These fiberglass tanks, they just put the stopper right in there, and you know, just getting the stoppers out to do this, it cracks around the little spider cracks around the edge of that opening. So you either have to put the aluminum inserts that you buy and use the Dubro gas stoppers, or since I wanted to use their actual stoppers, because these are pretty good stoppers. You know, they don't dry up. They're kind of soft and gummy, which is what you want. So I wanted to use these, which are bigger than the Dubro, so you cannot use the aluminum inserts that you buy. I'm going to use the clunks. I like their clunks. Their clunks are heavy. I'm going to go with a what size is it? It's 3/16 diameter tubing, just like I did on the F-16. All the vents are 3/16 as well. I'm almost tempted to try this black neoprene fuel tubing, because it's so much more flexible than the extra large Tygon tubing, but everybody seems to say nay about this stuff. But you know, most gasoline, weed eaters, and any kind of thing like that uses gas, and here in the States uses this black neoprene. So I don't see what's so bad about it. I'm guessing it probably gets stiff and cracks over time. So I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, all I did was cut these out of. It was a 0.016 thick, 0.0616 thick aluminum sheet that I bought at the hobby store. It's real flimsy. Doesn't you know, it's not good for anything unless you bond it. So what I did, drilled a couple holes in it, cut the shape I wanted. I did the same thing on the front tanks. Gave it enough area for bonding, and like I said, drilled a few holes in there to kind of have the glue come through to kind of help secure it on there. And what I did was just take a Dremel and just cut it until I hit the actual fiberglass, and I wanted to make it a little bit bigger than the diameter that they cut, because they didn't cut them big enough. So I went a little bit bigger, checked each one to make sure I had the right size holes. It is going to be thicker as far as the wall thickness, but it actually is about the thickness of the groove that's cut in the fuel stopper now. So I was going to trim a little bit of the stopper, but I don't even have to do that, so it's a plus. It does require re-drilling of these. I'm only going to have one tube, brass tube coming through here, since my vents are up here, so I had to drill the back plate. This is the part that the screw goes in through the stopper, and it squeezes on the stopper to make it expand. So you got to drill this and the front plate for that larger size as well. Probably not required. Like I said, there was a thread going around that told you exactly what, depending on the size of your turbine, what was the minimum diameter. I just like using the extra large tie gun. It cuts down on pressure, especially since the F-15, it's got it's got 8 tanks, so it's a lot of tank inducting to go through. So anything you can do to relieve the pressure is just gonna help your pump out in the long run. Like I said, that's my little mod. We'll see how it goes. I don't see why it shouldn't work. I'm gonna, once I get the clunks in, I'll pressurize them, maybe fill them with some water, make sure they don't leak. So I opted not to get the Kevlar tanks. I mean, yeah, they're stronger, they're heavier, but in a crash, I don't think it matters. It's just my personal opinion. Depending on how you crash, I don't think it matters. So the F-16 or the F-15 has 4 tanks. These actually go. Move this here. These are 4 tanks. Fit right in here like this, and they're pretty much flush with this piece. I am going to make these draw down first. So the big tanks go in here, right here in this area. They'll be the last ones to empty. Because I really don't like the design of these kind of tanks. I mean, it's really hard because of the design of them. Your clunk's going to come in and it's going to sit, and the most you're going to get it before it hits that back wall is probably, here, let me show you. Find one. It's kind of makes it easier to see like this. You put this clunk on there, and if you make it too long, it won't go up. So you got to make it where it's just the length of the tube, and then when it's like that, it'll reach the top, but it won't reach all the way to the bottom. So it's never going to empty all the way, which kind of stinks because there's wasted fuel. To actually drain the tank completely, I'll actually turn the jet upside down, just like you do when you drain the UAT. So it's always going to have probably about that much in the bottom of this forward tank. So what I wanted to do, and since it's forward of the CG, and I don't see, my logic may be flawed, but I don't see anything wrong with it, is having the front tanks draw down first, so your CG will actually shift aft as you burn fuel, up to the point you get to the mains. Once you're in the mains, they're so close to the CG, it's not going to affect it as much as these out here. Which brings me to the whole CG things. I don't know what to use. I've heard 190, 230, 240. Everybody, some people use factory, some people don't. So I don't know what to go with yet. Ozzy Bart has got one of these, and he put his, I believe, on like 210, so he kind of cut the difference, and he's about to maiden his. So based on how his flight goes and what he says, I may, go with that. I believe the Mario guy, he said the front, there's 2 spars on the wing. He said he balanced his somewhere around the front of this front spar, but I'm not sure. So we'll see how it goes. I'm kind of holding off on the turbine install for that because I may shift the turbines forward and aft a little bit to help with balancing, because I don't like to add weight to anything. If I can't, I try my best to balance things with radio gear. But yeah, that's about it for now. I'm going to go through and put all the clunks in the tanks, get the tanks installed, get the lines ran. Wings are done as well. I don't know if I showed you guys this. And it may be kind of hard to see because the light in here is not that great, but all the hatches are in on the wings. Servo horn, or the control horns, are in, and that's about it. I sent the gear off today to Down and Lock. I talked to Mitch, good guy, about gear door sequencing, because they have the gear door sequencer built in to their gear controller, which is really nice, because if the gear amps out or something, the gear doors won't close up on you. But I asked him about the crazy gear door sequencing, and they can do that in their controller, so I don't have to do any crazy radio programming. I don't have to buy the UP2/4 combo to have it, have that one door closed while the gear's down, while the other one stays open. I can just do it, run 2 valves, which is what I was going to do anyways, and just run them off the sequencer in the Down and Lock controller. They do have their new motors in, which are a lot stronger, about 20% or so stronger than their old motors. So I know people were having some of these heavier gear, were having problems with them getting them up at times. What I did notice with my F-16 is on takeoff, if I kept it at full throttle and didn't watch the G's, it would amp out. And after I started kind of changing the way I did it, I would take off. Once I got it airborne, I would cut back throttle to about half or 3/4, hit the gear door switch, and maintain nice gentle. I started my turn nice gentle, and then the gear come up every time. After Georgia Jets, I had like 1 or 2 flights in Georgia Jets where they didn't, like, one of the gear didn't come up. That's a good thing about electric. You hit the switch and they go back down, so you don't sit there and blow out all your air like you do with pneumatic. But after I figured out that, I didn't have a single gear up problem in probably 30-40 flights after that. So if you do have problems with them amping out on heavier gear or complex gear, just after takeoff slow back a little bit. If you want to level off, try that. But with the new motors, it shouldn't be a problem. So it's good stuff. The Fly-Eagle gear conversion that they're coming out with, I was gonna go that route and try it out because they had the electric brakes, but their programmer wasn't ready. So it'll be 5 or 6 more weeks before the programmer's up. So I went ahead and sent the gear off just to have them converted by Down and Lock. So we'll see how that goes. That's about it for now. Like I said, I got all the electric stuff, all the Roby stuff that I'm going to start laying in there, kind of laying out. But don't have much left. I'm going to start modding the wings. I kind of posted on the thread about how I'm going to put the pylon on there. So I'll do a video of that when I get that. But till next time, you guys have a good one. Like I said, if you got any questions, just ask, post it on the forum. If you got some feedback on the CG stuff, post it and it'll help. I appreciate it. Take it easy.